Coming to you live from the Show Me State, the birthplace of James Mercer Langston Hughes. It's the Colbert Connection. Your hosts, Melody and Danica, are connecting you to the world through Facebook Live with today's hot topics and creative conversations. I'm your announcer, Dr. Colbert, working hard for a free meal and a bottle of crushed grapes. And now, here's your host of the Colbert Connection, Melody Colbert King and Danica Colbert.
It's Tuesday. What's happening?
The Colbert Connection is what's happening right now.
Oh, okay. Who are you, sir?
I'm Don.
Okay. Who are you?
Hey, Troy Thomas.
Okay, and I'm Danica Colbert, and we are gonna get into some fun today.
Get into it.
That's what you got. What you been doing? Oh,
Just hanging.
what you been doing?
The same.
You been cruising?
No. Yes, I have, but I have been. That's another story.
Another story.
Yay for me.
Yay for you.
Yes.
There's a lot going on, y'all.
Hey, what's been going on?
Well, there's talks again on a package.
Ooh, what kind of package?
This package, there's talks of $2,000 direct deposit recurring monthly. What do we think about that?
Coming from where?
I don't know. I don't ask questions. I'm just saying if they dropped it into your account, would you or would you not partake?
I would spend it. I would partake and spend it. Yes, indeed.
What about you?
Well, I ain't sent one back yet.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Me either. What you gonna do here? I don't know where that came from.
Hey, I hope they made that mistake.
I'll take that one and that one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the story.
Yeah, well,
That's what's in
they
the
got
works.
they print that money, huh?
Well, so it sounds like
$2,000 a month.
a month. That's what's in the talks, and it's just talks.
So we ain't ever going back to work again.
No.
Look, you know what? That's funny because that's on my list too. Like, yeah.
Hey, we can't find
But
workers
look,
now.
You own your own business, so
Mhm.
have you had any luck hiring?
No, you know what? I've been doing real good by myself out there right now. You know what I mean? So that answers your question. And I don't really want to be out there by myself. So,
That's amazing.
Now hiring.
hey.
Look,
It's kind
what
of
you
hard.
know?
It's kind of hard to want to go to work when you can get $2,000 for sitting at home. That's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That's difficult for some people on the minimum wage scale.
Right.
It doesn't. Why would you want to leave your house?
Listen.
Hey, I guess
costs-
2,000 changes your life.
That's right. Well, it's
But-
if you're on the minimum wage scale,
Yeah,
it's
it
kind of
would, yeah.
difficult for you to want to leave your house
Right.
for $2,000 a month when you can just stay at home, turn over in the bed, get you another cup of coffee or whatever, and relax.
I mean, what are they hoping that will happen from this? Like, what's going
What's the end goal?
Yeah, what's the end goal? I mean, we're going to keep doing this for every month?
Well, the comments that I saw were the pandemic because we don't see the end at this point. It's going to be a thing. I don't know when the end's going to be, but I don't think that we're fixing.
No,
it.
we're band-aiding.
I don't even think we're band-aiding. I think we're creating a bigger issue.
We could be. I mean, we already have. I mean, the issue is already there. It's just now being exposed.
Truth. I agree. Because now we got a whole lot of people don't want to go to work. I mean, over in Oklahoma, the minimum wage benefits with the additional added on is roughly $21 an hour. Can you afford to pay someone $21 an hour? I mean, not many places can.
No.
So, yeah, that's crazy.
But even though they got it, they still don't have the workers.
Nope. No workers.
So, I mean, there's a lot of places that pay good money. If they ain't working, ain't nobody there.
Nobody wants to
Hey, I seen when I drove by a place the other day, they had a picnic table out there, hey, waving them in like a car wash, you know what I mean? Trying to get them to come through.
Every corner you turn, there's a now hiring sign out.
No, look, I was right with that. And 7th and Maiden Lane, and we turned the corner, like, now hiring. He goes, and there's a guy sitting with the sign, and you were like, how? And you couldn't go walk into the McDonald's and find. But that's the problem we created, right?
Yeah,
because I would rather sit with my sign and collect that instead of walking into McDonald's and at least wiping the floors down or something.
I could be picking up trash in the parking lot, emptying trash cans or something. But
Hey, welcome
they
to the
only
new
pay
world.
you.
It's the new world order.
Yes, they only pay so much.
Only pay so much.
They don't
even pay. Well, McDonald's can't pay me enough. $15 an hour. They can't pay enough.
Hey,
$15 an hour.
And some places are altering their days open because they don't have employees to work.
I know. I mean, is that what Best Buy and them's doing too? I drove by it, the lights out.
Well, and Miss Hackett, when she was here the other week, she said they're closed on Monday, Tuesdays, or whichever day because they don't have employees to cover. Isn't that crazy?
It's a time that you've never seen before.
And you hope you never see it again.
Yeah,
Sure,
right.
I hope it
Right.
gets better.
Yeah, I hope we get better.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's like anything. You got to go to the bottom and come up.
Started from the bottom.
I mean, you just got to know where that bottom's at.
Well,
We might be close.
so funny that you say that.
Uh-oh.
In Joplin, you play lotto?
I bought a few
You
tickets.
bought a few. You used to play. You probably still play.
I play on occasion.
Okay.
And especially since the lottery now, I think tonight's mega is up to around 345
I
million.
used to play, and now he know the numbers.
All right.
So he said, "I think it's 100."
That's always good to have good information. He knows it.
345.
I think it
345.
might be 345 tonight.
Yeah.
But so there's a fellow that got the wrong scratch off ticket. So he went to the window, and probably because the person behind there, was just barely working anyway. Said, "I want number 212 or whatever the number was," and they gave him like 191, the number of the scratch. You know how you go and get your scratch off. And he won $50,000 on the wrong ticket. So tell me, do you give a little something to that person who gave you the wrong ticket? Because I would have.
You're not. Hey, you're not obligated to. Okay, but if you want, you kind of share. I'm sure with the joy of winning, you would, tip them a little
Little
something.
A little something.
Yeah, a little
anyway.
something.
I would hope so.
Hope.
Yes.
What you think? You give him a little
Oh
something?
yes, I would. I want to share the blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, share it. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, if it's 5, 10, or whatever.
Whatever.
That's all you give him?
10, I'm talking
50,000?
about 5 or 10%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 or 10%.
Just
Well,
check.
it's different than making what you give them.
I mean, it really doesn't, because anything
Right.
you give him is
Yeah,
good.
right.
They didn't have anything. So
Okay.
Yeah.
that's right.
It's
Both
true.
of you. But
True.
yeah, that would.
I ain't gonna give him so much. I'm gonna be mad. I gave it to him.
No, hey, that defeats the purpose, isn't it? That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
indeed.
that happened right here in Joplin. So yeah, I'll be here about
Congrats.
Someone
that.
smiling.
Someone is smiling.
Yeah.
You got a smartwatch, Dad?
Not yet.
You
But
gonna get one?
I plan on getting a smartwatch. Is it an Apple TikTok or whatever it's called?
Apple TikTok.
Well,
I guess you could do TikTok on it. Yeah.
well, I mean, it's not a TikTok, but you can do TikTok if you so choose. But if you get a TikTok account, I need to know.
No, I don't have one, but I just know
Yeah.
that it takes care of all your blood pressure,
Okay.
your steps, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They have so many different varieties out there.
Yeah.
Mr. Josh has one, so
Mhm.
I think they come in handy.
Yeah. Well, Apple has a new watch. 'Cause, Apple releases new stuff about every year. I think every year they have one.
Yeah.
And they might not change nothing but like add a new color to the screen or something. But we like the new, right?
The new.
The new.
All right.
So the new one, Apple Watch 7, is supposed to have a blood glucose monitor built in, right?
Just by on the clock itself. I mean, on the watch
There's
itself.
a sensor, absolutely. So I'm excited about that function alone. However, there are conversations about also doing blood alcohol. Could you imagine a watch? Look, don't have
Hey,
business.
you drinking
I know
too
business.
much. Hey, you got one more drink.
And you're going over.
Yeah,
You got to
right.
rest a while.
Hey.
Yeah, take a nap,
Hey.
drink some water.
But think about that now.
Hey,
And
I'm thinking.
everything talks. So your phone talks to your car, talks to your watch. Could you imagine?
Hey, I'm already seeing it.
Hey, right?
And then when Popo pulls you over, you say, "Hey, I got it right here.
Right
I'm
here.
under 0.7 or
Hey.
whatever, and I'm good." So
Good, hey.
That's right. Hey. And it's my watch against his, or
Hey.
whatever his meter is.
Well, I got one more discrepancy to work against in court. Hey, my watch said this. I was going by the watch.
Now, can I take my watch to court and say that I'm good?
Hey.
I'm supposed to be good at that
I
time.
don't know, but it sounds pretty cool to me, though.
Hey.
Can you
Well,
imagine?
I don't know. It's getting pretty. I mean, hey, it's getting. Technology is something else.
It's scary.
It is scary.
We're getting to that point where you think about they're talking about the chip. That they
Yeah,
implant,
right.
And you're monitored from
Yeah.
the womb to the
Mhm.
tomb.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
See,
and
but
that's the sad part.
the Leo. I mean,
The
Leo Lion is here.
Hey.
She likes that technology.
Well, but understand, I'm thinking of, God, I don't have to wear a CGM to test my blood sugar.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
get
I'm
it.
thinking.
No, I get all
So,
that.
But
all
how
the
much further
things.
are they going than just the blood
than
sugar,
just
though?
that.
Yeah.
Right,
agree.
yeah,
I
you don't know
agree.
what they putting in there.
You right. I feel you. I feel you. But it's interesting, isn't it? I was
Yeah.
like, wow. So anyways, that's supposed to be fall. We'll see what they actually drop in that watch come fall of this year.
Sounds good.
Yes. I don't partake in Dogecoin, whatever it is. The money, the coins.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Oh, Bitcoin.
Yeah, I
The
don't.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
You in?
No, I don't know anything
I mean,
about it.
I have a handler. Delonte is my handler, and
Oh.
so I may or may not have money in. I
Yeah, you
think
might
I
want-
do, but I do.
You might want to get a different
I
handler.
may or may not. He
You
says-
might want to get a professional
Yeah,
handler. You know what I mean?
He says the money went up today. I'm like, oh, good. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So your investment's worth. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I feel like I should be seeing this somewhere.
Yeah, make sure you tell you when it's down too. You know what I mean?
That's what I said
Right.
the other week when he was like, oh, it's down. I said, you watched it go down
Mhm.
and you left it in there.
Yeah, well.
How much are you invested?
Right.
I
Uh-oh.
only invested $50 because I don't trust
This
him
sounds
very
like a
far.
family issue.
Yeah.
here.
He's like, oh, we can get in. It was a while back, and I don't know how many coins it bought me, but I was like, oh, $50, whatever. So I gave $50, and then he's like, oh, it's worth $600. I'm like, oh, okay.
600.
I said, when we getting out.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
cash
When we getting in, shit, I'm trying to get in now. I'm trying to get in.
so I don't know much about it.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, you're gonna get some today, aren't you?
No, I don't think so. Not just
I got a
yet.
little bit of it.
You got some?
Mm-hmm.
You don't keep up with it either.
No, I know. I
do you?
watch that monster.
How many dollars you got?
I don't know.
You're
I
not gonna tell.
forgot. It's still working.
He said,
It's still working.
Yeah, that's
I'll
what-
let you know when I pull up, when I get out.
I'm telling you, I just kind of looked up like I don't play
Right.
stocks and stuff very well, and so again when it went up to 600, I'm like, okay, so cash me out.
He said,
And he was like, are you sure?
Mm.
I'll just buy you out. I'm like, whatever. Look,
Yeah, because he didn't want to pull it out. He's
Yeah,
like,
right.
hey.
Yeah.
Whatever. I said,
Mhm.
cash me outside.
Yeah.
That'd be all right.
I don't know. I don't know much about it. I'll have to read up on the Bitcoin. So I do know it's an investment. It's just another
Mhm.
like stock market, and
Yeah.
you're playing it.
You're gambling, legalized gambling.
It's another
No.
gamble.
See, and I don't gamble well, but
Well,
you know, when we go home,
You don't?
Dad gonna go home and he gonna have
You
TikTok
gamble-
pulled up and he
you
gonna
gamble
get
well every day.
Dogecoin. What?
Yeah.
What?
You
Just
gam-
rolling out?
When you leave your house,
Yep,
every
you
day.
can't
I
gamble
don't.
every
I don't
day.
leave every day.
Well,
yeah.
some people have to leave every day.
Right, yeah.
When you're driving down the street, you're on a gamble.
Yep,
It's true.
that's true.
This is
Hey,
true.
so it's a gamble out there. So
Mhm.
yes, indeed.
Well, yeah. So that's the story with
Hey.
the coins.
Well, good. I hope it keeps going up.
Well, me too. But I mean, if it keeps, see what happens is I see Josh make a post and like, woo, but I'm like, I think that's the one we got, and then I have to text the handler. 'Cause, you know,
Right. I think you need to get more in touch with the handler and what's going on, because you're still in Wonder World right here about what's, you know what I mean?
I'm like,
You better Google it. You
Right.
better Google it and find out what's going on.
Yeah,
because he
right.
might only be telling me half the story. is
That's
you're
what I'm trying to
saying.
Hey,
I'm like, okay.
even though Big Brother's there, you might want
Yeah.
to Google and find out
Yeah.
for yourself
Yeah.
some of the ins and outs. But that's all right.
Hey.
Yeah. So that's what I know.
Well,
Not too much, but
hey.
It's a family
it went
affair.
up. That's what I know.
Hey.
Outside of that,
Mm.
we gonna talk about getting in shape. What you know
Ooh.
about?
Ooh.
Dad, you be walking?
Yeah.
No,
I put in a
Dad.
few. I put in a
Where
few
you-
steps every day.
At,
Yeah,
Wal- at
every
Walmart.
day.
At Walmart.
Y'all see him
Where
at
do I need to go,
Walmart?
huh?
At Walmart, at work, or
Mhm.
wherever. I do some walking.
Yeah.
We gonna talk about it today.
I don't have my watch to find out exactly
Yeah, we
how
don't-
many,
Yeah.
but maybe
Look.
I will find me a watch here. in the
I'm gonna
near
get my
future.
daddy a watch.
Oh,
Look,
you heard that out
look,
there.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna get my dad a
Yeah.
watch.
Connection Land, you heard that. I
Yeah.
will have my watch here in this
By,
very short
by
time.
next Tuesday, he will
Yeah.
have a watch,
I'll have my
and we
watch.
gonna see
Hey.
how many steps he's not doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look,
I'm working.
You work
trying
in
to get in shape.
progress.
I'm trying to get in shape mentally
Right.
because we got a world out here that is mentally dysfunctional.
Right.
mm,
Yeah.
That's the problem that I have.
Yeah,
I
right.
have a problem with the mental aspect of not being in shape.
mm.
Yeah, that's
We got-
true.
We got people that are doing some wild and weird things. in
The
this
outside's important, but that inside probably
world.
a little
You
bit
gotta have
more.
a little
Yeah.
bit, yes, you
Mhm.
can have a little bit more of that. But not to take anything away from our guest, but we'll
Right,
find
yeah.
out exactly what she has to say about being physically fit.
I'm sure her mental's right too.
It has to be.
I'm sure she get tested day in and day out.
Right.
Look, I cannot wait to talk to her about all them things. So our guest today, y'all, is none other than Kris Smith. Christine Wofford Smith, for those of you that don't know. We're going to hit a commercial. We're going to do, what'd you say, what?
Yes, we're going to take a break.
Oh, okay, go ahead then, sir.
No, I don't want to say
Oh,
that.
okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, sir, go ahead. He might want to put a TikTok on or something.
Right, yeah. I'm about to make up something. I'm like,
Oh, okay. So we're going to hit a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll chat with Kris.
Stop by Nee's Place Soul Food Kitchen for some tasty fried catfish and slamming fried chicken. Collard greens, mac and cheese, and homemade cornbread. You even have your favorite Kool-Aid. You know, red. Didn't delicious home cooking is what we do, serving love on a plate just for you.
You say you want a delicious dessert? Jen's Cheesecake Delights is the one to call. Each delicious cheesecake is personally handcrafted with quality ingredients for you or your special occasion. Jen's Cheesecake Delights, handcrafted with you in mind.
We are back.
We're back.
With my girl, Kris
Yeah.
Smith. Look, I was Chris Wofford. I always want to
You can
go
go
with
with Wofford.
Sorry.
Wofford's good.
Sorry.
I like
Yeah,
Wofford.
cool.
You were Wofford before Smith.
That's right. Always a Wofford. Always.
Thank you.
And everyone knows that name. So,
Yeah, I'm sure. That's sure.
What's happening, ma'am?
well, we are here again. This is my third show. I feel like I'm just like part of the family.
We gonna
You're
move your
right.
seat over here.
I
for
know.
you.
Make way, we need a bigger studio. But today we're going to talk about wellness.
Yes.
No politics today unless we go down a rabbit hole,
Yeah.
which we could actually. It's
Tired of that
easy
whole,
to do.
that whole getting wore out.
Oh, I am so pumped because this is your passion, and it's so
Oh,
it's so
yes.
cool because you light up when we start talking about fitness and the transformations and all the people, like vast array of
Hundreds.
people.
Hundreds.
What got you on this? Because pop up the picture of Kris before.
What's it look like?
She's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, forgot what she looks like.
No, I stole this one. This is a picture of Kris before she got into her working out. It's one of the ones you use along with I stole it from your wall. Look, she's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Because
you
I'm,
get a surprise
I'm
picture.
short on pictures now since
Yeah,
Facebook
right.
banned my original account.
Yes,
But so anyway, there's a delay. Which picture is it?
it's the one
Oh, I
with
see
you.
it.
Yes,
I see it now.
yes.
So that would have been probably in 2009. And as far as answering your question about what got me started, actually my sister.
Okay.
So she has been in Dallas for years, and I just saw her growing in the gym. And we all were athletes growing up. So you know what it's like whenever you get out of high school, get out of college, and you're trying to keep that basketball body, you're trying to keep that physique, and it just goes downhill because we grew up eating Taco Bell and fried foods, and you just can't combat that. So she did a bodybuilding show. I was inspired by her, and then I asked her if she wanted to team up and start a page called Fit and Fabulous Sisters. So we did that for a little bit, and I actually started getting requests from moms of the boys that I was coaching on the basketball team asking me to teach Zumba. And you know we don't really dance, like we kind of can wing it, but we don't do choreography.
Yeah.
So I put that off for like 2 years, and they just were persistent, and I finally said, fine, I will start a boot camp. I will start it. I don't want to do this. I set it at 5 o'clock in the morning on purpose because I didn't want to do it, and I'm like, no one's going to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And they were like, yeah, we'll be there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
So then the venue that we had fell through. So then I was like, well, we don't have a place to do it. Sorry, ladies. And someone's like, I got a place. I'm like, okay. So that was March 2013. And then the boot camp evolved into our gym a year later. Started in the basement of our city hall.
And at one point, you were doing it at your house because I remember
Yep.
coming to a few.
Yes.
And granted, it's a drive, but I was like, I'm gonna go support Kris. I'm gonna go out here and do this
Cute.
thing. And there were a lot of women in her front yard.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes. We
Mm.
my milkshake. We did get a lot of honks.
Right,
So
yeah.
we were right there on the highway. But yeah, we did workouts in the yard. I was always afraid someone was going to trip over a branch and sue me. But no, it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how it all started. And honestly, whenever I started my journey, I didn't ever know what to eat. I lived on Vitamin. I was just try not to eat because that's all that I understood was less calories and what you put out. And people would ask me, what do I do now? We did the workout. What do I do? I'm like, don't eat.
Right.
Duh, why would you want to eat?
Starve yourself.
I'm like, drink coffee all day. And then it just led to, hiring my personal trainer, and then it just took off from there.
I've enjoyed watching it because, like you say, I've been right along with you, like through the very first steps, watching and, coming when I could because I didn't live here the whole time. Yeah. But watching the progress in your group, your network there is amazing.
Yes.
Transforming into a supplement line that you've put together.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So, if you guys don't know, I have a daughter. She is 14, and she was actually a member of the 5% nutrition team under Rich Piana, who passed away in 2018. But he was a big deal in the fitness industry, and for her to be on his team, because I'm talking about, we would go into fitness expos with these big meatheads, and here she was at 8 years old walking in front of them like she's one of them. So we learned a lot through that company, and we always wanted to do something for Demaya, like a kid's brand. And it took about 2 years of research, but I found a manufacturer, and they worked well with me. And I studied. I wanted to know why people were putting what they were putting in their products, because that was important to me. So I spent time doing that. And then I finally came up with my own formulas, and the stuff works. I mean, it's like you said, it's like magic.
So were you in the garage with goggles on and Kool-Aid mix and
I would do a lot of research on different ingredients as far as like BCAAs, amino acids, phytochemicals, basically like the biology of it, because the chemists are down and at the lab down in Georgia. However, we could get to that point one day where we actually manufacture it. That'd be a huge project. I definitely want to have a bigger warehouse to ship out one of these days. But as far as like the actual like getting down to the nitty gritty of it, that goes down in Georgia.
Okay.
But it's very interesting. It's a very interesting process. And our powders, they do great. However they make them, because they're very smooth. You can put them in your shaker cup, just shake it a few times, and there's no like. No clumps, no crystals going on. So it's very easy to digest and to drink. And then before you know it, you're like, ooh, I feel good.
Oh. Is this a supplement or is this a dietary product, or what am I ingesting when I take your product?
So with the supplement, basically you're either giving yourself a boost to your diet, or you are replacing something that you're not getting in your diet, because most people that I talk to don't really know how to eat. And they actually think that they should go to supplements first. I'm always going to tell you, get your diet lined out. Like I talked to your brother today. I'm like, tell me what you're eating. That's the first thing I ask people. I'm like, what are you eating? And then I can pinpoint exactly what it is in your diet that is more than likely failing you. But if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to put the eggs on in the morning, you can make a shake right fast. Or if you are getting ready to do a workout and you need just a little bit of a boost, then you can go with the Battle Rush. Or if you need some more focus, or you need recovery with aches and pains, like Danica told me earlier that her knee doesn't hurt as much, and we both have bad knees. So both of these products can help with joint pain. One of them has caffeine, one of them does not. So basically, I'm going to tell you, let's see what your body can do with a diet, because you can feel perfectly fine just by changing the foods that you eat. You'll feel a crash in the beginning whenever you eliminate the foods that your body is used to, and then once you start to eat and get the right micronutrients, then you'll get a nice natural energy.
So talking right along with what she's talking about, because y'all, from her promo, I started this with her last Sunday. Mm-hmm. So Monday and Tuesday, I was dragging behind.
Right.
Because I'm guessing because I pulled out all the carbs.
Yes.
And the coffee and all the fun stuff.
And the stuff and the mental stuff, whatever it is of your like you said, the coffee, or just like every day you have a sandwich from Subway, and that's what you get excited about. When you take that out, then you're like, dang.
Big letdown.
Eat these carrots.
The truth. I was like, I see one more carrot. But I mean, that was what it was.
And how many pounds did you lose in a day, right?
It was for the first day to the next day, and then it's been consistently 2.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie.
You must have been eating terrible.
Yes. But it's the truth.
She was all
no,
water.
but
all
it's the
water.
truth.
Water,
Christine and I, we talk all the time, and I'm like, I work out all the time. So the fact that nothing was changing, I knew it was my food, but I just didn't want to do it. And like Christine said, you had to be pissed, you got to get mad, and finally you're like, okay, Christine, here I am. Yeah, here I am. Okay, I'll do. She's like, do you want the full Monty, or do you want? And I'm like, I'm gonna do this.
Right.
The media, like Dad said, I'm in the kitchen in the morning, like I don't cook.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm looking at you like, what's wrong with you?
Well, and I'm in the same boat as Anika. I don't like to cook. Most times I forget something's on the grill and it burns. And so it's just not fun for me. I feel like if we tried and we had a passion for it, we could be really good at cooking. But we're better at other things. So we don't need to like be into recipes. If you can throw some chicken and some steak and some shrimp on the grill, that's honestly it. I mean,
So that's a part of the diet, shrimp.
so when we first get started, it's limited to fish and chicken, and then we branch out into that. Like Danica hasn't got to that point yet, but we slowly add some foods back in each month. That way it doesn't like shock your body in the wrong way. And she'll also get some cheat meals next month too.
Lord knows. But
Next month.
I know.
Cheat meals.
Oh, believe me, because they were over on the table with the little candies, and I'm like, I was gonna drink my water.
Yeah.
But it's those things, like the things that you don't even realize. Like, Corbin comes through. Oh, okay, give me.
Yep.
No, but you don't realize how many times you do that.
Yep.
Right, that's true.
It adds up.
And for people of color, I like spices, and I like the salt, and
You
I
like
like
some Lowry's on it?
all the things. And so slap your mama and your daddy. I like all of that. Okay, so Christy's like, okay, it's got to be zero everything. I'm like, so what does that mean? She goes, you have Mrs. Dash? I'm like, no, I don't.
So where's Mrs. Dash?
Right, I had to go buy
Dash?
You don't want
That's
to know.
another species.
It's not good.
Oh, okay.
It's not good.
It's zero sodium. So, and not that sodium is 100% the enemy, but the FDA, for health purposes, says no more than either 23 or 2,400 milligrams of sodium per day. Well, if you look at like a hot dog, for instance, there's like 800 to 1,000 milligrams, and hot dogs are good. Like, I would love to eat them, but I know that I cannot because I will just be bloated.
Right.
So a lot of what people are carrying around isn't even fat. It's water. You are either dehydrated or you keep eating something that is making you bloated. And as we get older, it starts to push down into our ankles. Like, I can look at someone's ankles, I'm like, you're sick.
Yeah.
You can tell that by looking at their ankle.
Yeah, I agree
Yep.
with what she's saying because I probably have a lot of salt and stuff. I can feel that bloated.
Like your fingers feel like hot dogs in the morning when you wake up, and you're just kind of like trying to get them open. Something you ate from last night is probably putting some water weight on you, and that is there's a few reasons to have water weight. One is because you ate something that's full of sodium and your body just can't process it. Two, you are dehydrated. Whenever you're dehydrated, your body hoards water because the body thinks if we get stuck on a deserted island, we have to be able to survive. So whenever you see those the infomercials for the babies in Africa and they're really skinny but they have the gut, they're missing out on micronutrients and they're dehydrated. So it's the same concept. They're like in survival mode trying
They
to
look
survive.
dehydrated too out there all in the sun.
So, they always make it look so awful. Or you have a food allergy. So Denise, if I call you Demaya, just go.
You're fine.
I call Demaya Tinky and Tinky Demaya.
It's her baby. Her dog.
Yes. But you have a food allergy that you are not aware of, and it's not that you're gonna have like shock where you like can't breathe. It's just it's putting inflammation in your body because just like if you twist your ankle, you have swelling. So that's a sign of an injury, sign of there's distress.
Right.
So for me, it's pineapples. I look 6 months pregnant within an hour of eating pineapples, but pineapples are supposed to be healthy. Right. So not everything that is healthy is good for your body.
Yeah.
So in my week, right, as we, she's like 10, it was 4 days, I think. She goes, there's something you eat daily that is messing you up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that makes sense because, I'm like, I've done all these things, the usual things, and nothing was working. So there, there's plenty of tests out there you can take for allergies to see what it is. So hopefully we'll figure it out along the way. But I also ordered one of those tests so we can really pinpoint.
What do you think it is?
I hope it's not something in coffee, but I mean at this point, I mean, it could
Man,
be.
it could be the acidity level of coffee, honestly. I mean, that's another reason, like, in our Facebook group today, when I said, because I saw a lot of people including coffee in their gallon, and I'm like, so for those of you that don't know, if you don't have any health issues to where you retain water, like a heart condition or kidney condition, I would suggest, and remember, I'm not a doctor, so talk to your doctor first, a gallon of water a day. That's about how much we can, excrete out of us, and that's going to help us to release stored water that our body is holding on to. And what I tell people is that doesn't include the coffee that you drink, that doesn't include the Crystal Light that you might try to add into your day.
Yeah,
I'm talking about a full gallon of pure water. And then if you feel like you need something else, which more than likely you're not going to, then have at it if you want to. But and I don't care if you drink coffee, honestly. We just try to cut out the cream and sugar and stuff like that. But 3 cups of coffee doesn't mean that you are a quarter of the way through your gallon. It means that you
Jason Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's got water in it don't mean.
I made my husband mad today about that.
So how would a person start their day on what type of food? I understand eggs are very important in this process. How many eggs should a person eat, and what type of eggs should a person eat?
So I'm gonna be upfront and say I don't get into like the whole organic mindset. If you want to do organic because you feel like that's a safer approach to eating, you're more than welcome to do that. I am balling on a lot of time, like not a lot of time. So I got a boom, boom, boom. I don't have time to go to health stores, things like that. So right now I just shop at Walmart. So anything that I'm talking about, you can get at your local Walmart. And then if you want to go a step above, you're more than welcome to do that. But a typical morning for me is either, if I'm really strict, it's going to be a cup of egg whites. Egg whites are not as fun as eggs. Or 2 to 3 eggs, or a shake. I am not a big breakfast person, so it's as far as eggs go, it's really hard for me to eat restaurant eggs because they're just full of grease or they're the fake eggs. So I have to eat my eggs at home. If I'm not able to do that, then I'm going to do a shake. And these shakes taste amazing. I'm sure there's other products that taste amazing too, but it's real just simplistic. I mean, you just line up your animal protein per meal. And then if you want to add in a side, like you could do spinach with your eggs and blend it in. That gives you good micronutrients from the spinach. Flaxseed oil is a part of our morning too. We can talk about that later. But as far as like how much, a good gauge, how much do you think that you weigh?
222.
And do you want to keep the amount of muscle that you have right now?
I could stand to gain some muscle.
Okay. So for those of you that want to keep the amount of muscle that God has given you or that you have worked for, you would want to eat your body weight in grams. So you weigh 222, so you would be shooting for somewhere between 200 and 250 grams of protein a day. It sounds like a lot, but mathematically, 200 grams of protein is only 800 calories. That is a meal at McDonald's. So people eat that 800 calories in one setting whenever they go there, whenever they could have spread it out over the day and got some protein in a better fashion that has less grease and less issues with your digestive system. So, and the way that you know this is we have all these, like we were talking about technology, there's calorie apps out there where you could plug in how many grams of protein does 6 ounces of grilled chicken, let's not go fried, grilled chicken give me? And it's probably somewhere between 30 and 40 grams. So there, boom, you're already, almost a quarter of the way there. And then you just spread that out over the day, that 200 grams.
So it's no fried food.
Here's my thing about it. I want for people to enjoy their life. I'm not telling you that you can't have those types of meals, but you really want to aim to, 1, give yourself 4 weeks. Give yourself 4 weeks of cutting out everything. And what's going to happen is, whenever you do, you're like, ooh, okay, I did good. I get to have my cheat meal. You're gonna get sick,
Right.
and that's a good indication of
we're counting on you to get sick, so you don't want to eat that stuff no more, right?
So
Don't want it anymore.
yeah, you're gonna have, for lack of better wording, you're gonna have the shits. Your stomachs. You're probably gonna have a headache, and this is why people are sick every day and they don't realize why they're sick,
Right.
because it's what they're eating. So once you eliminate and you incorporate it back in, you're either going to be like, okay, I'll test those waters every once in a while, or you're just going to totally knock it out and you'll find something else. Like a cheat for me is steak and a sweet potato. And don't get me wrong, I like French fries. I still like chicken tenders, things of that nature. But it's got to be like we're on vacation, and I'm gonna relax, and I'm not gonna stress about it. We don't do that Monday through Friday. We try our best, and Saturday, Sunday. But
back when we were fit, a long time ago, the cheat meal was, when your mom and dad got paid and you got to go somewhere.
Right.
You didn't get to McDonald's
Shoney's.
every day. Shoney's. You didn't get the amount of Taco Hut. You didn't get to go all the time. So that was the cheat meal. So it's basically reverting back to where we were.
Home cook is the way to go, and the reason for that is because, like Danica was talking about seasonings earlier, Mrs. Dash, you could order the exact same meal at a restaurant that you would eat at home. Let's say it's chicken and brown rice, okay, or chicken and asparagus, and you might end up putting on some water weight because of all the seasonings, because they're trying to make their customers happy. So they're not going to do plain Jane like I would do at home. So sometimes it's hard for, like, Cheddar's. Their steak is the saltiest, and I love Cheddar's, but their steak, I can't have it. I got to go with like their tilapia because their steak is so full of salt. So you're like, well, I ate what I would typically eat, and I gained a pound. It's just water weight, one, but two, it's because of the seasoning, and it's just too much.
Preservatives, the salt and stuff like that.
Yes, because a lot of those things are prepackaged, and they just pop them open, and they're trying maintain them, make money. It's still better than eating French fries and having dessert and so.
Let me explain. So one of those days last week, I was like, okay, I'm tired of cooking. Which it didn't take long.
Oh boy, that take long.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I was done. Yeah, I was doing too much. So I was like, all right, cool. Went to the store, did my little thing. I sent to Kris a message, and I know she's busy, so she writes me back. It might be a while. She got her time. She logs in. And so, I'm on my way home feeling good because I had got one of them rotisserie chickens. Oh, yeah. I was like, hey, you saw it? Look. So we get to the house, and she wrote me back. And I was like, hey, am I good to, like, this? Cause thinking, surely.
Yeah, I know.
And when I saw that chicken pop up, I was like, no. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Throw that out the window.
Oh, man. You should have seen me. I was just like,
She thought
I was sad.
It sat there for a day.
Look, a whole day, probably 2 days,
It may
because
sit there a day
I
or
was
two.
so sad. I was really, because I was like,
They taste good too.
thanks, Kris. No, I'm just
Yeah, anything tastes
But-
good ain't good for you.
That's right.
pretty much. And in my head, like, there's no easy way. Like, you got to prep that thing. So, my weekend, cook things of chicken and then just kind of spread it out across the meals. But, whew, it is work to do it the right way, y'all. But it's worth it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely, because I cannot stress the meal prep or just having your own foods, because I'm able to cook by meal because I have my own kitchenette at my gym. However, if you don't have that luxury, you have to spend an hour or so prepping, either if you're going to do it every day, get up earlier, or if you're going to do it on Sundays, Wednesdays, whatever it is. It's not any different than any other job you've ever had, except this is the most important job you could ever have. It's taking care of yourself and not letting other people be in charge of your food and of your lifestyle and of your health. I mentioned it to people whenever they asked me about my coaching. I'm like, sickness is a gazillion dollar industry. They make money off of us being sick.
Right.
So are you going to continue to go into their office and just throw away money or throw away time? You could have been meal prepping whenever you're at the doctor for something that was caused by what you're eating or not doing. So you got to think of it like that.
talk to us about flaxseed oil and what?
Okay,
what
so
is that?
I never had even heard of flaxseed seeds or flaxseed oil until I met Marvin Frost. I don't know if you guys know Fusion Football here in Joplin, but we should have him on the show sometime. But he is my I hired him for like 5 years until I finally was like, I'm a baby bird and I can fly out. So he was my trainer for years, and he still is a trainer at our gym in Commerce. We have people that drive all the way from Joplin, Veneta, different places to train with him. And whenever the first diet that I did with him was literally chicken, brown rice, egg whites, and flaxseed oil for 12 weeks.
12.
Yes, because I was getting ready for a bodybuilding show. That is not a lifestyle. That is just a tool. And the deal with the flaxseed oil is your oils, your olive oil, your coconut oil, flaxseed oil, grapeseed oil, all those oils are healthy fats. And the thing about fats is if you don't feed your body fat, your body hoards fat. because again, we're meant to survive. Your body thinks if we get stuck on that island, the skinny one's going to die first. Okay, the thick one's going to be here longer. So I'm going to hide and hoard all this fat. But if we give our body a reason to let it go, it'll let it go. So feed yourself good fats, and it's like, okay, I can burn some. So flaxseed oil doesn't have any, if you get the unflavored kind, doesn't have any carbs in it, so it's carb free. Whereas other fat options like an avocado has a ton of carbs in it. Your nuts, which are healthy fats, have carbs in them. So it's a non-carb fat, and it gives you energy too. It also boosts your digestive system. You will end up having some bathroom time. Which is
I hate
good.
that stuff because that stuff makes you be like, your stomach be making sounds it ain't never
Yeah.
made. You're like,
Yep.
you're gonna have me like, oh.
It's right in
Oh my gosh.
an inopportune
Right,
time.
you're like, oh, what's going on? Hey,
Yep.
I didn't say nothing about that.
Yeah. Getting healthy will clear you out. I mean, it really does. I mean, there is. I joke about probiotics about how it'll clear you out from like 1983.
Yeah.
You're like, where'd that poop come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been in there for a while. So that's a blessing though, to be able to go to the
Oh,
bathroom.
You don't think it's a blessing at the time.
Yeah, not while you're
Like-
working. But there's a
She
lot
said
of people
working. Yeah, you in there working, so you fan in there, everything.
I can't be in the bathroom working. That reminds me of White Chicks. Whenever one of them has to go to the bathroom, I think, in that movie. It was
Oh,
all over
God.
the toilet.
Lactose.
Right, yeah.
That's funny.
So how long did it take you to come up with your product that you have in front of you there?
So we launched it a few years ago, but the idea was in motion for years, and it was just, and my husband kept pushing me, come on, do this. I'm like, I have to wait for the inspiration. It usually hits me at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm on my phone like typing my notes in, then I go back to bed. But notice how the labeling is different on this. I said I wanted a line that was for children. So this is a kid-friendly product, and this is also a kid-friendly product, but we changed the labeling because I'm going to be real honest with you, parents. If you're not doing it, your kids are not going to do it. So I didn't really have a lot of parents that wanted to get healthy with their kids. They want them to be the star athlete of their team, and they want them to, they'll pay for this extra training, but they won't go the extra mile for their diet.
Right.
So there is no other way for me to tell you this, but if your kids' diets are like Cheetos and hotcakes and McDonald's and things of that nature, the child that is eating the way that I'm explaining is going to pass your kid. Okay? If they have the exact same training and this kid is eating great and your kid's eating McDonald's, that's exactly why Demaya, my daughter, is as strong as she is, because she eats just like me. So eggs, chicken, steak, you will very seldom see her eating anything that's off color for us, because she knows it's almost a waste, because if she's going to eat, she needs to eat with purpose, is what I call it.
So
Eat with
how does
purpose.
she attend her age group functions, as in birthday parties or some types of parties away from you? Does she monitor what she's eating while she's away that closely also?
Yeah, she does a great job. I'm sure she has moments where she wants a piece of pizza. She really doesn't have that big of an appetite. So if she were to eat if there was like a pizza party and there was nothing else for her to eat, knowing her, she'd probably dab some of the grease off, or she maybe would just eat the toppings, or she'd probably max out at like 2 pieces, and because she would get sick too because of the way that we eat.
Yeah.
But she's 14, she'll be 15 in June, and she started powerlifting in 4th grade, and she put on 10 pounds real fast, and she's short. So I'm like, all right, we got to have a conversation. So I explained to her how I eat, and I said, we're going to take you off of school foods. I'm going to teach you how to make your eggs in the morning, make your lunch, which is chicken, and then after school you can do a shake. And she did that as a 9-year-old. She learned how to cook her foods and started to meal prep for herself. So she's been doing it since age 9. So she even made our dinner. I put it in our Facebook group. She made our dinner the other night. It was steak and vegetables and bell peppers. I mean, she could, she really practiced at it. She could really be a great chef for this type of environment.
That's awesome.
Good.
So we have a question. Someone asked, should your intake match what leaves your body with solids and liquids?
Are we talking about exercise? Or they didn't say? Okay, so I'll give you, just ask me that question again. I'm sorry.
She says, should your intake match what leaves your body with solids and liquids?
So with your liquids, I wouldn't suggest for you to be drinking anything that has calories and sugar in it, just because sugar is really bad for the body. Like pure sugar. There's good carbs and there's bad carbs, and most of your drinks that have sugar in them are like your pop. Even with Crystal Light, there's hidden sugars in it, even though they're like, it's sugar free. If it's sweet, there is a hidden sugar in it. So just keep that in mind, that you want to do those in moderation. Every day, we all are burning calories just by being a human. And the way that you can figure out how much your body burns just being a human is there's websites that say your resting BMR, I believe that's what it is, your basal metabolism rate. And so you put in your age, you put in your weight, and then it will say, hey, at your age and weight, you are probably burning about 2,400 calories a day just being a human. So that means you could eat up to 2,400 calories a day and still maintain, pretty much, unless you put on some water weight from something salty. So in that regard, if you want to stay at your same weight, then go ahead and eat whatever that BMR is. Now, the next thing that people ask is, or they'll say is, well, according to my whatever, or to the treadmill, I burned 500 calories. So that means I get to add an extra 500 calories to my day. No. No, ma'am. No, sir. Okay? It is a bonus to your day. So I always tell people, don't even, like, that's great that you know how many calories that you burn, but I don't want to say that's not important, but just consider it a bonus. If your day was set out to eat 1,800 calories and you've already ate your 1,800 calories and then you burn 500, don't go out and eat 500 calories. Just consider it a win for the day. And the main thing about that is, I don't care what that watch says or what that treadmill says, unless you were hooked up by a bunch of scientists, there is no telling how many calories you actually burned. That's a guesstimate from a little computer on your phone, so, or whatever it is that you're using. So it gets more in depth than that, whoever's asking me that question. So you're more than welcome to send me a message on Facebook and we can talk about it further, because it goes a lot further than what she's asking.
You got it.
Or he.
No, you're right. It was a she. There's, inquiring minds would like to know if by the end of the show you might arm wrestle Troy.
Hey, I'm not even. I don't even want none of that. Hey, he looks good. She's always been strong. I don't even want to embarrass myself like that.
I get a lot of requests for that. And then when I finally say yes, they're like, oh, I was just playing.
Yeah, I'm not even. Put me in it.
What is a good BMI for the average body? I know what Google tells you.
You talk about your percentages, yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna say like 19% is good to walk. Actually, 19 to, like if someone was to take my BMI right now, it'd probably say I was above 20%. And it's just because I carry my fat a little bit weird, But 19% is a good average person. Whenever someone's doing a bodybuilding show, they get down to like 2% body fat. And it's just for the show. Whenever you get down that low, the females aren't even having their monthly cycles anymore because your body doesn't have anything else to give. That's a good indication. Like, we're talking about weight loss right now, but that's a good indication of if you're healthy or not, is are you having your period every month? Are you like a tiny person who's not having your cycle? If you're not having your cycle, then we need to talk about eating for you to gain weight in a healthy way, so we can get that period started, and that's a good thing.
There's a question, but because, I've had great tutelage, I know the answer. The question was, what's the best flaxseed that you suggest? And it would be now, So I've only tried a few, but on the flaxseed oil,
I always use a big bottle of the Now brand, NOW, from Amazon, because it's affordable. Like I said earlier in the conversation, I don't do a lot of like comparison in the fact of making a big decision. I look at the price, I look and see if the numbers look okay, and then bada bing, bada boom. But there is a difference in flavor. So, and the reason why I know that is because I had a mom and a daughter that were doing one of my programs, and the daughter kept complaining that her flaxseed oil was gross, and her mom was like, what are you talking about? It's fine. So the mom finally consumed it, and she's like, oh, you were right. This does taste bad. So I've never had any issues with flavor with the Now brand.
Oh, so you ain't got to hold your nose and drink it.
Oh, but no, I don't. Demaya acts like it's somewhat bad, but it really isn't. And the thing about it is, you'll notice that it comes in a black bottle. That's because heat, the sun can add heat, and heat destroys the nutrients in flaxseed oil. So you have to get it refrigerated as soon as you get it home, and keep it out of the light.
and get your fan ready.
Well, I mean,
in the bathroom.
So, for those that are meal prepping and they have to have flaxseed oil, you're going to take a cooler with you wherever you go, and you can either get little cups and keep them in your cooler, or you can take the whole bottle. You just got to keep in mind you want to try to keep it refrigerated and cool for the entire day. So yes, this is a process, but that flaxseed oil is life.
talk to us about your program, because I was pumped about you had time today because you've got one starting Monday.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
So my first nutrition training started out with what I called the 15-week slim down. I started in August 2015, and I just actually retired it in 2020 because it was in a group setting in a Facebook group, and we would have new groups start every week, and people would just get lost in the mix. It wasn't the best coaching. So I took some of those elements and started a one-on-one program, and we start any Monday that you want to start. You can sign up for 3, 6, 9 months, or you can go 1 month at a time. However, I will encourage you to do 3 months at a time because 1 month is not enough to get you to your goals, mentally, physically, emotionally, none of that. So we start with 1 month where we are totally eliminating all the foods that are probably causing you to have issues, and then we just build up from there each month. And the cost of coaching is less than $50 a month. You get to check in with me. You get to check in with me as much as you want. I'm not going to ignore you, but there's set days where I'm like definitely looking for you to message me. And if you don't message me, that is on you. I mean, I have a great team, and you imagine having 8 kids and you're trying to keep track of all of them, and then you get 50 kids. So if you don't message me, I'm like, it's like Home Alone. You're at the house and I forgot you were there, type of thing. So you got to check in. You got to check in and be an adult about this, and don't be scared to tell me that you cheated, or that you had a bad day, or that you got into a fight with your husband, or whatever it is, or with your wife. Like, I'm here for you on that end of the spectrum too, because this is it's a very emotional process for people, especially people that have a long journey. You're going through, I talked to Danica about this the other day. It's making me cry.
Go ahead.
But I said, I want you to remember where you were at whenever you were going up these 10 pounds. I won't say with the pounds, but I'm like, but you're getting ready to go down in those pounds. What were you going through? And she said, I lost my mom, COVID, and I think you said something else. And I'm like, okay, so it makes sense that you gained weight during that time. Now you get a redo. So you're going to do your emotions totally different this time, so we can get you past this.
That's funny you said, because I always say I'm real big into dealing with emotions and stuff like that. And emotions are tied right into weight and all that, as well as, your mental stability and behaviors. So, and eating is a behavior too.
Eating, drinking, smoking, and that's another thing. If you smoke, if you drink, I'm going to tell you to cut out the alcohol if you want the best progress. But like someone that's a smoker, keep smoking, because I don't want you to do everything all at once. Right. I don't want you to start the gym, stop smoking, and start a diet all at once. That is a bad idea.
Yeah,
Let's start
crying and
yes.
and snot bubbles and everything be going.
Waiting to happen.
You have to pick them up off the ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. Master it for 6 to 8 weeks, then let's move on to something else. So, but yes, you guys can message me anytime. Danica's got my contact information. We start a new group, we can start any Monday that you want. You just got to reach out to me and we'll have a conversation and we'll go from there.
I encourage you to reach out. Like I said, I was pumped about her coming back on to talk specifically about this because she's just taken it so far. And, a lot of that stuff over there on the table is going home with me. So,
oh, can we talk about
your skin was looking so good.
Yeah,
I see that.
The most important
You think that we have a lot of overweight listeners and viewers at the Cobra Connection?
Unfortunately,
we can get
it's a problem here. And it's a problem. It's
just
a problem.
Because we like pork chop and
all the things.
Ham and
all
that
things.
stuff.
All that ham is a no for me.
It's
No ham.
too salty.
Because it's too salt. Too much salt.
But your diabetes have been better. Type 1.
Yes. So that was another thing. So, the pace battle rush.
Before you even started the diet, you started that.
Yes, and stabilizing, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, and I see everything because it's on my watch, so I see all day. And Chrissy's like, well, what's going on? I'm like, it's been really level, but I'll let you know again tomorrow when I'm really paying attention.
And I'm gonna have a watch.
I'm
gonna have a watch.
You have a
watch.
watch.
Yeah, you're about to go buy AT&T
by next Tuesday.
Yeah, right. You got a lot of work to do.
Yes, but it's been really cool. And like I said, Monday and Tuesday, I realized when we took all that out, which I couldn't take my pre-workout Monday and Tuesday, I was dragging. And like I say, little fluctuations, but not really because I was only having veggies. So going back on it with my diet with no carbs has been very interesting.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. I'm excited. Like I say, my knee is not creaking. Usually Devontae would say, I can hear you coming up the stairs because my knee is popping. You cannot. It's great. It's great. So I encourage you, like, even though maybe you don't do a serious workout, I would encourage you to try it. Get online. What's the site, Kris?
www.standby or standup.com for stand-up supplements. And I didn't finish my story, but we did change the whole marketing of it. So we still have kids on this, or we have athletes that were geared towards kids on this label. But this is for everybody. It's for Americans, for patriots. Okay?
How old can I be to get started on this? Can I be of senior citizen age? And
For these?
For any of the supplements that you're...
All that I forewarn people about is the caffeine. So if you are already drinking coffee and you're okay with caffeine, then you're good. But you can always consult with a physician so he can look at all of this because we have our labels online. But it's B vitamins, electrolytes, amino acids, phytochemicals like ginger, and caffeine.
All right.
Hey, it must be something else in there because it got you cooking. There must be some magic dust in there or something.
Said it's magic.
Early morning cooking.
I'm I throw everything on that. Look, that can't be legal.
Look, because she will tell you to eat every 2 to 3 hours, right? And if I wake up at 5, right, every 2 to 3 hours, I gotta eat.
Hey, dudes, y'all might want to get this for your lady if they ain't cooking at the house. It's got her cooking. Hey,
That's funny.
It may be something to this.
Yep.
Hey, you may be
He's
going
like
further with this product
slipping in
than you
your
know.
drink. It's for dinner tonight.
It has been fun though, Kris.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
And it's been
thank
very
you.
informative, and I
Thank
hope your
you.
product takes off.
Thank you.
Who knows? We'll be in all of these health food stores around the 4 states.
Dr.
or
Oz is
the
about to
United
have me
States.
on, baby.
I know that's right.
yeah,
With a
I
real
can see it.
Look,
What's happening for the next week?
I think there's a Mother's Day panel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Mother's Day. There'll be some ladies on for
Johnny
that.
Some old
Guitar
straw
was
hats and stuff.
I think so. Purple shirts, red hats, the whole nine.
The
Yeah.
real mother for you. Huh?
Mother's Day,
Yeah.
something like that. So there'll be a panel of all kinds of people talking about all kinds of things.
And will they be on the Weight Watchers?
Call him.
Hey,
Hey, the coach still got a job?
the coach. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so
One
check
week-
it out.
Don't forget to get your lottery tickets.
I didn't want to bring it up,
Yes.
but because they get on me when
I
I do
didn't want to
that.
know, you know what I mean?
He's still good for 1 week after, so.
A mess.
But
Yes.
that's all right. And we look forward to seeing everybody next week, same time.
You
Hey,
saved that channel, is that what you're going to say?
yeah, at least the same bad channel.
And
It's
check
been
out
fun.
Chris's website.
Yes.
Y'all go order products.
Standby or standup.com. And you can message me anytime with any questions. You will not, bother me at all. So just message me.
Check her out. All right, we'll see y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is your announcer, D.R. Colbert, still working for a bottle of crushed grapes and that meal, saying thanks for listening to the Colbert Connection with Melody and Donika. If you like our show and want to know more, check us out next week, same time and place, when we talk about everything, including you, if you do not tune in to next week's show. Catch the Colbert Connection Tuesday at 1800 hours or 6 p.m.